Do you look in the mirror and see someone who is truly, deeply deserving of wealth? Or is there a whisper of doubt, a flicker of unworthiness that sabotages your efforts, no matter how much you affirm, no matter how diligently you manifest? What if the key to attracting true prosperity isn't about more doing, but about a fundamental shift in who you believe yourself to be? And welcome, fellow alchemists, to this sacred space. On the left, you'll find our curated playlist, Mind Over Money, guided meditations and affirmations, a treasure trove for your inner work. And on the right, I have personally selected our guide, the Alchemical Mirror Ritual to activate financial worthiness, guided meditation and affirmations, as the perfect next step to deepen your practice. Chapter 1. The Echo Chamber of Your Finances. Why your reflection holds the key. Greetings, fellow travelers on the path to prosperity. Today, we embark on a journey not of acquisition, but of embodiment. We're here to explore a profound truth. Your financial reality is not a random occurrence. It's a direct echo of your inner landscape. And at the very heart of this inner landscape lies your self-image, particularly as it pertains to money. Many of you have diligently applied the law of attraction. You've visualized, you've affirmed, you've even taken inspired action. Yet the desired abundance remains elusive, like a mirage on the horizon. Why? Because the most powerful force shaping your external reality is not what you do, but who you believe yourself to be. And where do we confront this core belief system most directly? In the mirror. I remember speaking with a client, let's call her Anya, who did everything right on paper, saved diligently, invested wisely, budgeted with precision. But her wealth never seemed to grow beyond a certain plateau. The problem wasn't in her bank account. It was in the story she told herself about money and about herself. Every time she looked in the mirror, a subconscious narrative of not enough would play out, subtly sabotaging her efforts. Her financial growth was mirroring her internal financial self-image, which was sadly depleted. This audiobook is about alchemizing that inner narrative. We're going to use the power of mirror work, a practice that dates back centuries, embraced by mystics and psychologists alike, not just to see ourselves, but to transform ourselves. We'll move beyond superficial affirmations to a deep, soul-level reprogramming of your financial worthiness. Because abundance isn't something you attract, it's something you become. And the first step to becoming abundant is seeing yourself as inherently worthy of it. We'll explore why this practice is so potent, how to navigate the resistance you might feel, and the specific alchemical steps to integrate this practice into your life, not as a chore, but as a sacred ritual. Prepare to see yourself and your finances in a completely new light. Chapter 2. The Alchemical Principle, Transmuting Inner Lead into Outer Gold. At the core of alchemy lies the principle of transmutation, the art of transforming base elements into more precious ones. Think of lead into gold. But the true gold of alchemy wasn't just the physical metal. It was the transformation of the alchemists themselves. And this, my friends, is the very essence of what we are doing here. Your current financial state is like the lead. It's the raw material, often filled with limiting beliefs, inherited programs, and the heavy weight of past experiences. Your inherent worthiness, your capacity for divine abundance, is the gold waiting to be revealed, and the crucible for this transformation. Your own reflection. Why is the mirror so powerful? It bypasses the logical mind, the part of us that can intellectualize and rationalize away change. When you stand before a mirror and speak affirmations, when you look your own eyes, you create a direct line to your subconscious. The subconscious mind doesn't reason. It believes what it sees and hears. It's a faithful servant executing the commands it receives. If you consistently see yourself as lacking, as unworthy, as destined for scarcity, your subconscious will relentlessly work to make that a reality. Consider the concept of energetic resonance. Everything vibrates at a certain frequency. Your beliefs, your emotions, your self-image, They all have an energetic signature. If your dominant signature is one of scarcity and unworthiness, you will naturally resonate with and attract experiences, people, and opportunities that match that vibration. Conversely, when you actively cultivate a sense of deep, unshakable worthiness, you begin to emit a powerful frequency of abundance, drawing precisely what you desire to you. The mirror becomes your tuning fork, helping you align your internal resonance with the frequency of wealth. I recall a period early in my own journey where I wrestled with financial guilt, a deep-seated belief that wanting money made me somehow less spiritual. I'd perform all the outward actions, but inwardly, I felt a profound disconnect. It wasn't until I began consciously working with my reflection, speaking affirmations of worthiness directly to myself, that I started to feel a shift. It was uncomfortable at first, a stark confrontation with my own self-doubt. But with consistent practice, that discomfort began to transmute into calm confidence, and my financial reality slowly, then dramatically, began to shift. That's the power of alchemical transmutation applied to your financial self-image. You are not just changing a belief. You are changing your energetic signature, and thereby your entire experience of reality. Chapter 3. Preparing your sacred space. The foundation of inner alchemy. Before we engage with the mirror, we must prepare our sacred space. Think of this as setting the stage for a profound ritual. A cluttered or chaotic environment can mirror a cluttered or chaotic inner state, hindering the deep work we aim to achieve. This isn't about elaborate setups. It's about intentionality. First, choose a mirror. It doesn't need to be fancy, but it should be one where you can clearly see your eyes. A bathroom mirror, a vanity mirror, or even a small handheld mirror will suffice. Ensure it's clean. A clean mirror reflects clearly, just as a clear mind is essential for alchemical transformation. Next, select a time. Consistency is key in reprogramming the subconscious. Aim for a time when you are least likely to be interrupted. Many find the morning, before the demands of the day begin, or the evening, to wind down and set intentions for the next day, to be ideal. Whatever time you choose, commit to it. Now consider your environment. Dim lighting can be conducive to introspection. Perhaps light a candle, a symbol of illumination and divine presence. You might choose to play soft, ambient music or embrace complete silence. The goal is to create a sanctuary, a space where you feel safe, centered, and open to receiving. I often recommend a simple grounding exercise before beginning. Take 3 deep breaths. Inhale deeply through your nose, filling your belly with air, and exhale slowly through your mouth, releasing any tension. Feel your feet grounded on the earth. Imagine roots growing from your feet into the ground, anchoring you. This simple act connects you to the physical realm, making you more present for the inner work. Some find it beneficial to have a journal nearby. This isn't for this specific practice, but for capturing insights that may arise during or after your mirror sessions. If you're working with specific affirmations, you might write them down beforehand. The intention here is to signal to your subconscious that this is a time of significance, a time of transformation. You are not just looking at yourself. You are engaging in a sacred dialogue with the deepest part of yourself. This preparation is not a mere formality. It is the foundational step that amplifies the power of the mirror work to come. Chapter 4. The Mirror of Worth Meditation. Part 1. Encountering your reflection now, we stand before the mirror. Take a moment to simply observe. No judgment, no criticism. Just see yourself. Notice the details, the shape of your eyes, the curve of your lips, the lines that tell your life story. Breathe. Begin by placing your hand over your heart, or on your solar plexus, wherever you feel a connection to your inner being. Feel the warmth of your hand, the gentle rise and fall of your chest. Acknowledge your presence. You are here, and you are worthy of this moment. Now gaze into your own eyes. This can feel vulnerable, even confronting, especially if you carry deep-seated beliefs of unworthiness. That's okay. If discomfort arises, acknowledge it without resistance. Say to yourself, I see this discomfort and I accept it. It is part of my journey. Begin with simple affirmations, spoken with intention and feeling. The words themselves are powerful, but the feeling behind them is what truly alchemizes. Let's start with, I am perfectly imperfect, and I am worthy of abundance just as I am. Repeat this several times, looking into your own eyes. Feel the truth of it resonating within you. If your mind wanders, gently bring it back. If doubt creeps in, meet it with unwavering self-compassion. Now, let's introduce another affirmation, one that directly addresses the core of our financial programming. My worth is inherent and unconditional. It is not earned, it is simply is. Feel the weight of that statement. It is not earned. For so many of us, our worth has become tied to our achievements, our productivity, our income. We believe we must earn our right to abundance. This affirmation directly challenges that paradigm. Your worth is your birthright. It is as fundamental as the air you breathe. If you feel a pang of resistance, a voice in your head saying, "That's not true," acknowledge it. Say, "I hear you, inner critic, and I am learning to believe a new truth." Then repeat the affirmation again, with more conviction. My worth is inherent and unconditional. It is not earned, it is simply is. As you continue to look into your eyes, allow the possibility of this truth to settle within you. You are not defined by your financial struggles. You are not limited by your past mistakes. You are a soul, existing, breathing, and inherently deserving of all the good that the universe has to offer. This is the foundational step, to see yourself, truly see yourself, and begin to offer yourself the gift of unconditional acceptance. Chapter 5. Crafting Spiritually Aligned Money. Affirmations. The affirmations we use in mirror work are not mere positive statements. They are alchemical decrees, declarations of our divine inheritance. They must resonate with our spiritual truth, not just our material desires. Generic affirmations often fall flat because they don't connect with our deeper sense of self. When crafting your money affirmations, ask yourself, what does true abundance feel like? What does it mean to me on a soul level? It's rarely just about the numbers. It's about freedom, security, the ability to contribute, the joy of creative expression, a peace of mind. Let's move beyond I am rich to affirmations that speak to the essence of abundance. I am a divine channel for abundance. Money flows to me easily, joyfully, and abundantly, and I use it wisely to uplift myself and the world. Notice the emphasis on being a channel. This honors our spiritual nature. It's not about hoarding, but about flow. My capacity to receive is as vast as my capacity to give. I am open to all forms of abundance, financial, emotional, spiritual, and relational. This addresses the common block of struggling to receive. Many spiritually minded individuals excel at giving, but find receiving deeply uncomfortable, viewing it as dependency or greed. I align my energy with the frequency of prosperity. My thoughts, words, and actions are in harmony with the creation of lasting wealth. This speaks to resonance. We become what we vibrate. This affirmation actively chooses to align with the vibration of prosperity. I trust the universe to provide. I release all fear and doubt, knowing that abundance is my natural state. Trust is crucial. Many affirmations falter because they are spoken from a place of desperation, not trust. This one anchors you in faith. When you repeat these, or your own variations in the mirror, infuse them with emotion. Imagine the feeling of financial freedom, of deep security, of joy. Let your heart sing the words. If an affirmation feels like a stretch, that's a good sign. It means you're touching on a limiting belief that needs alchemical attention. Gently persist. I remember when I first started truly integrating this. I'd repeat, my worth is inherent, and a voice would scream, no, you're not doing enough. Instead of fighting it, I'd acknowledge, I hear your fear of not doing enough. And I choose to believe that my inherent worth allows me to attract abundance effortlessly. It's a conversation, a gentle yet persistent reprogramming. Your affirmations are not just words. They are seeds of consciousness you are planting within your own soul. Chapter 6, Mirror of Worth Meditation. Part 2, Deepening Emotional Presence. As you become more comfortable gazing into your own eyes and speaking your truth, we can deepen the practice. The key here is emotional integration. Simply repeating positive words without addressing the underlying emotional resistance is like painting over rust. The problem remains beneath the surface. When you encounter your reflection, be aware of the emotions that arise. Do you see a flicker of shame? A hint of fear? A pang of disappointment? Instead of pushing these feelings away, acknowledge them with the same compassion you offer yourself when speaking affirmations. You can even speak to these emotions directly. I see you, fear of scarcity. Thank you for trying to protect me. I understand your role, but I am choosing to move forward from a place of worthiness and trust. I see you, old programming of guilt. I acknowledge that this was a lesson you tried to teach me, but I am ready to release you now. I'm worthy of receiving. This dialogue is potent. It doesn't eradicate the emotions instantly, but it changes your relationship with them. You move from being controlled by your emotions to becoming an observer and a conscious manager of your inner state. This is the alchemical shift. Now let's introduce a powerful practice, self-appreciation. Look into your eyes and find something, anything, to genuinely appreciate about yourself. It could be your kindness, your resilience, your creativity, your willingness to engage in this practice. Appreciate your courage for being here today. I appreciate your deep capacity for love. I appreciate your dedication to growth. Speak these words with warmth and sincerity. It might feel awkward at first, especially if self-criticism has been your dominant internal dialogue. But like any muscle, your capacity for self-appreciation grows with practice. This isn't vanity. It's the essential recalibration of your self-worth. You are not begging for worthiness. You are recognizing and affirming the worthiness that already exists. Consider David, a client who struggled with consistent income. He'd affirm wealth, but felt a deep guilt whenever money came in, as if he'd somehow tricked the universe. During mirror work, instead of just affirming I am wealthy, he started with, I see the effort and value I bring. I'm proud of my skills and the good I do. I'm worthy of being compensated fairly for my gifts. It was a subtle shift, but it allowed him to connect his actions and his worthiness, dissolving the guilt and paving the way for a more stable flow of abundance. This is the essence of emotional presence, meeting yourself with truth, compassion, and a commitment to your own inherent value. Chapter 7. Navigating Resistance and Discomfort. During mirror work, it is absolutely natural to encounter resistance when engaging in deep inner work, especially concerning deeply ingrained beliefs about money and self-worth. This resistance isn't a sign that you're doing it wrong. It's a sign that you're touching on something significant, something that needs alchemical attention. The most common form of resistance is the critical inner voice. You'll be speaking an affirmation of worthiness, and a loud part of you will shout, "That's a lie! You're not worthy!" This is the ego's attempt to maintain the status quo, to keep you within the confines of what it perceives as familiar and safe, even if that safety is the familiar territory of scarcity. When this happens, the alchemical approach is not to fight the voice, but to acknowledge it with a detached curiosity. You can say, there's my inner critic. It's trying to keep me safe in scarcity. Thank you for your concern. I've heard you. Now I choose to listen to the voice of my higher self, the voice of my inherent worth. Then, gently, firmly, return to your affirmation. Another form of resistance is emotional flooding. You might feel an overwhelming sense of sadness, shame, or even anger bubbling up. If this happens, it's important to pause and breathe. Remind yourself that these emotions are not permanent states. They are energetic currents passing through you. You can acknowledge them. I feel this overwhelming sadness right now. It's okay. I am safe. I am supported. You might even visualize yourself safely containing these emotions, perhaps in a designated emotional container within your mind, and then releasing them. Physical discomfort, a knot in your stomach, tension in your shoulders is also common. This is your body holding on to old energetic patterns. Again, breathe into the sensation. Don't try to force it away. Instead, send a wave of gentle awareness and acceptance to that part of your body. Visualize the tension melting away, dissolving into warmth and light. The key principle is self-compassion. You are not trying to conquer yourself. You are trying to heal yourself. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a dear friend who is struggling. If you miss a day, or if a session feels particularly challenging, it's not a failure. It's simply part of the process. Gently recommit the next day. The consistent intention, coupled with self-compassion, is what creates lasting change. Remember, alchemy is about gentle, persistent transformation, not forceful destruction. Chapter 8. Daily Rituals to Embed Financial Self-Worth. The true power of mirror work lies not in sporadic, intense sessions, but in consistent, integrated rituals. Think of it as tending a garden. Daily nurturing yields the most abundant harvest. We want to embed this alchemical practice into the fabric of your daily life, making it as natural as breathing. The morning mirror moment, 1 to 3 minutes. As soon as you wake up, before your mind gets caught in the day's to-do list or external worries, stand before your mirror. Greet yourself. Smile. Say one powerful affirmation of worthiness, like I am worthy of all good things today. Then simply look into your eyes for a few breaths, imprinting that feeling of worthiness before you even begin your day. The midday check-in, 30 seconds, 1 minute. If you have a moment during the day, find a reflective surface, a window, a shop window, even your phone screen when it's off. Take a quick glance. Notice your posture. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself, I am worthy. This is a micro-dose of your alchemical practice, a subtle, energetic recalibration. The evening integration, 3 to 5 minutes. Before bed, repeat your chosen affirmations. This is a time to release any resistance that may have built up during the day. You can even use this time to consciously forgive yourself for any perceived financial missteps or feelings of unworthiness. A simple phrase like, I forgive myself for any doubt I held today. I choose to embody my worthiness now, can be very powerful. The forgiveness ledger, optional, but potent. For deeper healing, consider a forgiveness ledger. In a journal, dedicate a page to people or situations where you feel financial guilt or shame. Write down the person or situation and then beside it write, I forgive myself for the situation, feeling, and I release all resentment and guilt. I choose to embody my inherent worthiness. This actively clears energetic blockages. The crucial element is intention. Even a short interaction with your reflection, imbued with intention and self-compassion, can be profoundly transformative. It's about creating a consistent dialogue with your subconscious, reinforcing the new narrative of worthiness until it becomes your default reality. This isn't about forcing change. It's about gently, consistently cultivating the fertile ground within yourself for abundance to naturally grow. Chapter 9. Integrating inspired action without hustle mentality. One of the most beautiful outcomes of embodying financial worthiness is the natural emergence of inspired action. This is action that feels light, aligned, and effortless, born not from desperation or fear, but from a deep inner knowing and a sense of purpose. It's the opposite of the relentless, often soul-draining hustle culture. When you operate from a place of scarcity, every action feels like a struggle. You're constantly pushing, forcing, trying to make things happen. This creates resistance and burns you out. It's like trying to row upstream against a powerful current. But when you embody your worthiness, you understand that you are already abundant. You are already enough. From this place, action becomes a dance, not a battle. An idea for a new income stream might arise, not from a panic about bills, but from a genuine creative impulse. A conversation might lead to an unexpected opportunity, not because you were aggressively pitching, but because you were authentically sharing your gifts. This is the alchemical magic. When your inner state is aligned with abundance, your outer actions naturally align with it as well. You begin to attract opportunities that feel not like burdens, but like joyful expressions of your being. You start to recognize synchronicities, those meaningful coincidences that guide you on your path. I remember working with a client who felt immense pressure to constantly be doing more to attract clients. He was exhausted, his actions felt forced, and his business was stagnating. Through mirror work, he began to deeply accept his inherent worth independent of his client load. He started taking breaks, engaging in activities that nourished his soul, and speaking about his work from a place of genuine passion rather than desperation. Slowly, the right clients began to find him. His actions became less about hustling and more about attracting, flowing from a place of inner abundance and confidence. Inspired action isn't about waiting for a bolt of lightning. It's about staying open, listening to your intuition, and taking those small aligned steps that feel right. It's about trusting that the universe is conspiring to support you because you have affirmed your worthiness. This is where the true alchemy happens, the transmutation of the frantic struggle for survival into the graceful dance of co-creation. You are no longer chasing wealth. You are embodying it, and wealth naturally flows to the embodied state. Chapter 10. Cultivating Gratitude and Receiving as Spiritual Practices. Gratitude and receiving are not mere byproducts of abundance. They are fundamental practices that generate abundance. They are the spiritual counterparts to your inner alchemy. When you cultivate a heart full of gratitude, you amplify the very energy of what you are grateful for. And when you master the art of receiving, you open the channels for even more to flow into your life. Many of us are conditioned to focus on what we lack. We affirm our worthiness, but our daily mental diet is filled with complaints, criticisms, and a constant awareness of our unmet desires. Gratitude acts as an energetic antidote. It shifts your focus from scarcity to sufficiency. Gratitude ritual. Start your day or incorporate it into your evening mirror work by listing 3 things you are genuinely grateful for. They don't have to be grand. It could be the warmth of the sun, a kind word from a stranger, the ability to breathe, or even the challenges that are teaching you resilience. As you name each item, feel the emotion of gratitude in your heart. I am deeply grateful for. Feel the expansion, the warmth, the lightness. This simple practice retunes your energetic frequency to abundance. Receiving, however, is where many hit a wall. We are taught to be independent, self-sufficient, and sometimes receiving is perceived as weakness or obligation. But in the energetic economy of the universe, receiving is just as vital as giving. It's the other half of the equation. Without receiving, the flow of abundance stagnates. The art of receiving, say yes gracefully. When someone offers you a compliment, a gift or help, simply say, thank you. Resist the urge to deflect or minimize it. Allow yourself to receive the positive energy. Be open to unexpected gifts. Abundance doesn't always arrive in the form you expect. Be open to unexpected opportunities, helpful insights, or small acts of kindness. These are the universe's ways of showering you with blessings. Receive your own blessings. This is where mirror work truly shines. When you look in the mirror and speak affirmations of worthiness, you are practicing the art of receiving your own inherent value. You are allowing yourself to receive the truth of who you are. I worked with a woman who, despite great success, felt a constant pressure to give more, do more, be more. She found it almost impossible to accept compliments or enjoy gifts without feeling she had to reciprocate immediately or that she didn't deserve it. Through mirror work and a conscious practice of gratitude, she began to acknowledge the small blessings in her day. She learned to simply say thank you and allow the warmth of receiving to fill her. Gradually, she noticed that her energy began to shift, and even her business started to flow more easily, as if the universe was responding to her newfound openness. Cultivating gratitude and mastering the art of receiving are not just nice-to-haves. They are essential alchemical practices for a life of sustained abundance. Chapter 11. Embodying your new money self-image in real life. The mirror work. The affirmations, the rituals, they are all powerful catalysts. But the true test of alchemy is how this transformation manifests in your everyday life. Embodying your new money self-image means consciously choosing to act, speak and think from a place of inherent worthiness, even when faced with old patterns or challenging circumstances. This is where the concept of inspired action truly comes into play. When you operate from a place of deep self-worth, your choices naturally align with abundance. Practical integration points, your financial conversations. How do you talk about money with yourself and others? Do you complain about its scarcity, or do you speak of it with respect and as a tool for growth and contribution? Shift your language. Instead of "I can't afford that," try "How can I create the resources for this?" Or "This is an opportunity for me to align my finances with my desires." Your spending habits. Does your spending reflect your worthiness or your lack? When you feel unworthy, you might overspend to fill a void, or conversely deprive yourself completely. From a place of worthiness, you spend with intention, valuing what you invest in and understanding that money is a tool for both enjoyment and contribution. You don't hoard out of fear, nor do you squander out of self-sabotage. Your boundaries. Worthiness often involves clear, energetic boundaries. This means learning to say no to requests or commitments that drain your energy or don't align with your values. It also means setting financial boundaries, valuing your time and skills appropriately and not allowing others to devalue them. Your vision for contribution. Abundance is not just about personal wealth. It's about the capacity to contribute meaningfully to the world. When you embody your worthiness, you understand that you have unique gifts to offer. Your wealth becomes a vehicle for greater impact. I recall a client who, after consistent mirror work, began to notice a shift in her entrepreneurial decisions. Previously, she'd take on clients who paid poorly, simply because she felt she wasn't good enough to command higher rates. After embodying her worthiness, she confidently raised her prices, knowing that her value was inherent. She didn't lose clients. She attracted clients who were a better energetic fit and who truly valued her expertise. This is embodiment, the inner truth manifesting as outer action, creating a ripple effect of abundance. This isn't about pretending to be something you're not. It's about the gentle, consistent unveiling of the abundant, worthy being you already are. It's about aligning your outer actions with your deepest inner truth, creating a powerful, magnetic force of prosperity in your life. Chapter 12. The ongoing journey of alchemical worthiness and wealth. You have embarked on a profound alchemical journey. You've learned to see yourself in the mirror not just as you are, but as who you are becoming. You've begun to transmute the lead of self-doubt into the gold of inherent worthiness. This is not a destination, but a continuous unfolding. The subconscious mind is a vast ocean, and while we've made significant progress, the currents of old programming can still surface. The key is not to be discouraged, but to remain consistent in your practice. Each mirror session, each affirmation, each moment of self-compassion is another alchemical refinement. Remember the principles we've explored. Your worth is inherent. It does not need to be earned or proven. Your reflection is a powerful tool. It is a direct conduit to your subconscious. Emotions are energy. Acknowledge and integrate them with compassion. Consistency is key. Daily rituals amplify transformation. Gratitude and receiving are active generators of abundance. Inspired action flows from a place of embodiment. Continue to stand before your reflection with love and acceptance. Continue to speak your truth, not as a hopeful wish, but as a declaration of your divine inheritance. The universe responds to the energy you emit, and when that energy is one of unshakable worthiness, abundance becomes not just a possibility, but an inevitability. This journey is about becoming the alchemist of your own life, skillfully transforming your inner world to create the outer reality you desire. You are not just attracting wealth, you are embodying the wealthy soul you were always meant to be. This is Elias Vance reminding you, the greatest wealth you will ever own is the knowledge of who you truly are.